I'm here with Jake Johnson from New Girl. Jake, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm loving this season of New Girl, and everybody talks about sophomore slumps happening to show. It didn't happen to New Girl. If anything, it got better.
Thank you. I think so too.
How do you think you dodged the dreaded sophomore slump?
You know, I don't like to give them credit, but I think our writers.
Yeah.
And I hate saying it, because I think there's a battle between actors and writers on all television shows. I think they created something our first season, which was really good, and it could have gone a lot of different directions. And then I feel like it got funnier season 2, crazier, and also more grounded. Mm-hmm. And I felt, at least for myself, I didn't know who my character was all first season. And I'll tell that to Liz. I'd read a table read script, and I'll go, so now Nick does this. And she'd be like, just say the lines, it makes sense. And when I came back for season 2, not only did I think Nick was very clear on the page, I thought all the characters were. Like, I think Schmidt and Jess were very clear season 1. Mm-hmm. And this season, I think Nick is, I think Winston is, I think Cece is. I think the whole show works in a much better way.
Are you relieved that they didn't drag out the Nick and Jess will they or won't they for 6 seasons like
Yes.
a lot of other shows? I personally think that's what contributed to the season being so successful.
Look at those 2 totally normal roommates. I bet they never sucked face, but we did. You sucked my face.
I sucked your face.
You did.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. Me, I do, yes.
Table for 2, fanciest restaurant in town.
Yeah, and then we could have sex. I didn't want to wait, because I felt like the way I'd been playing Nick from the pilot was he has feelings for her. Now, if they're going to get together or not get together, who knows, but to deny that over and over for years, it just didn't feel as honest. And I don't know if they're going to be together or not. You know, I don't think Liz knows. So, but at least being honest of like, yeah, these 2 people live together, there's a chemistry, things are going to happen.
Your hand's on my boob.
Yeah. And it's weird.
I think they're going to be together.
You do?
I think they're
Do you
going to be
think
together.
season 3 they're going to date?
I hope so.
You do?
I think that's what we want to see. I think to deny what happened this season or to skip
Right.
over it and then have to go back to where you were, I don't think that'll work.
I agree with that. Here's something that scares me.
We are roommates who have made out a couple times and are attracted to each other.
Mm-hmm. If they start dating and get very serious, do they move into the same room? Do they leave the law? It's like, I don't want to...
These are the questions, Jake. These are the big questions.
Here's what I kind of think.
Yeah.
Knowing these characters, how I kind of know them, who knows?
We need a long-term solution.
I'll give you a long-term solution.
I think they're going to try at some point. Then I think they're going to screw it up and then have to try to deal with being friends while this thing is still there. And I think it will go unresolved for a while.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Because I live here too, and I'm gonna be here when all this goes to crap.
I think you just slipped me a spoiler disguised as speculation.
But you didn't sneeze, so it wasn't a true spoiler.
It wasn't a true spoiler. Well, let's talk about this season. So you've got the Big Virgins flashback episode coming
Yes.
up. Are there any Jess, Nick moments in that episode?
There's a big one.
Yeah.
The Virgins episode, Liz Merriweather wrote that, and you know she's our creator. She doesn't write every episode. This was one she wrote, and she was there, and it's how each character loses their virginity. So we flash back, you know.
Some bad hair for Nick.
Bad hair with braces for Nick. Winston's very funny in it. Fat Schmidt and Elizabeth, who I think she is awesome. Mm-hmm. And I love that story.
Yep.
And then Jess, how she loses her virginity, and Cece loses it with some huge cameo type guy. But at the end, it's very NickJess.
There's a big Nick. And then for the last 2 episodes, is it sort of dealing with fallout from what happens in the Virgins episode? Because I know Rob Reiner comes back.
Yeah, Rob Reiner comes back. Kind of. It's dealing with, you know, the final 2 episodes. The finale is a crazy episode. We have a crazy guest star on it.
The Honey Badger?
So you've heard.
I've heard.
I just start sneezing when you say honey badger.
Is it actually a honey badger or just a badger?
In fact, as a 100% confirmation, there's no such thing as honey badgers.
Is that true?
That's a fact.
Oh, God, that's crushing.
It's not a fact.
What?
I don't know.
You just made that up.
I'm just making it up.
So there's a badge. Is that the guest you were talking about?
There's another one.
Oh.
Taylor Swift.
Oh, Taylor Swift.
That's a pretty big one.
I'm more excited about the badger.
I gotta say, I'm not huge into Taylor Swift's music. It's not that I don't like it, I don't really know it.
Yeah.
Seeing her in person, it's a very weird experience. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh yeah, you're Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
She's an incredible actress.
Was she nice?
So nice, so normal. And I'm not just saying this, she was so good that it was kind of annoying because on our show, they'll yell alt jokes at you. And you're in a scene and then they yell things out and you try to memorize it, and we've broken them down to the point of they think, these guys can't remember all these jokes, they're not human. Mm-hmm. They yell a paragraph at little Taylor Swift.
Oh.
She memorized it so perfectly that Liz came out like dancing and hugging her, and we were all kind of like,
What a bitch.
kind of like a little goody two shoes, like making us all look bad at our day job. Now you're on your van going to Atlanta or whatever. But she's very good on the show.
And then the logline Fox put out for the episode said that there's a big decision that Jess and Nick make.
Yes, it
Fox
comes
wasn't
to
lying.
Fox, for once, it comes to a crossroads. The Nick-Jess relationship.
Okay. I got a couple quick reader questions. Dean Rankin asks, how long did it take you to perfect the turtle face?
This turtle face thing. In one part, it's flattering. In another part, it's like...
Where did that originate from?
I have no idea. You know what it really did? Season 1, I had a lot of, standing Nick next to Jess while she's talking, or Nick next to, Schmidt while he's doing a monologue. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't have a lot to do.
Yeah.
And so while listening to a lot of this stuff, I didn't plan a turtle face. It's just my face. Now, if you Google my name...
Turtle face is the first result?
No, it's one of them.
It's a picture of a turtle.
And even more embarrassing, somebody sent me this on Twitter the other day, and I just retweeted it with like a come on. If you Google turtle face,
yeah,
my face is one of the options. Come on, man.
Well,
turtle face?
There could be worse things.
Than a turtle's face.
It could be a badger face or something.
Badgers are better than turtles.
Are they?
They're like weird dinosaurs with like...
Turtles are kind of cute.
A turtle's face?
Hillary Butler. If you weren't on New Girl, what current TV show would you want to be on?
Breaking Bad.
Oh. Going for the drama.
Pretty cool answer.
Yeah.
You just looked at me differently. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh yeah.
Wow, that shocked me. It's deep.
It's deep. I want to be one of the junkies.
Are you nervous about the final 8 episodes?
I'm actually really excited. I didn't love that they broke up this last one because last season I was so excited. It was so short.
You know why they did that? So they could qualify for Emmys in both years.
Oh, that's why.
I mean, that's my theory.
I didn't
but
get
it's
it.
not very viewer friendly.
I don't watch them live. I like to get like 5 in a row and then binge.
Mm-hmm.
I watch it. I had like 2 binged it, and I'm like, I don't want to be done yet.
Yeah.
I'll get very excited when it's back on.
Yeah.
I think those actors are doing such a good job on that show that I think Aaron Paul is like so good.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Real quick before we go, you're going up for lead actor this year. Big move.
Truthfully, it was Max Greenfield and I were talking about it one day, and he said, you should consider going after lead. And I thought like, well, I'm not really the lead. Zoe's the lead. And he goes, no, the Nick-Jess is really like, and we had a big conversation in my trailer about it, and I thought it was interesting. And then I, threw out the idea to my publicist, and we all talked about it. And as just like a theory, I think we all thought it was kind of a fun, move.
And smart. It's like Modern Family has the supporting category locked in.
As well as with my character, and I really realized that the more I thought about it, I don't just do supporting, because what I love about a supporting character, and that's what I, kind of strive to be on this show, is you just get the crazy jokes, the huge laughs, and you support that kind of main A story. Mm-hmm. The lead has to do more of like, moving story along and heavy lifting at times. And I realized with Nick-Jess, there's a lot of scenes where you're like, oh, this just isn't like 3 great jokes. Mm-hmm. This is like we're trying to, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So, whatever happens, I'm kind of excited to try for it.
Hi, I'm Adam Pally.
And I'm Gillian Jacobs.
And subscribe to ENTV
for all your entertainment news first.